All up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Educate and Elevate.
Yo.
It's your boy Pablo.
It's Armando.
And this is the start of the podcast, man. So season 1, episode 2.
Yeah, season 1, episode 1. The episode 2, we did one yesterday.
First video.
Yeah, first video.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It's great, man. It feels great though. Like we got the name down yesterday. We were like in here. I should have seen Pablo. He was like Kobe going off for 81. He was in his flow state. That's what I mean though. So we coming out the names, the brand, the logo. We had a meeting today with our editor. Shout out to our boy. Shout out to our boy in India. Yo. It's a duo, man. It's a trio.
Yeah, it's a trio.
Yeah.
We definitely have a boy working behind the scenes, so he's putting in a lot of work. The marketing, the branding. I mean, we're definitely we might have him on a podcast soon.
I'd be sick. Yeah, obviously his growth is our growth. Our growth is his growth.
Yeah, we definitely can't take credit for everything on our own. So, I think that's one of the best things that we've talked about culture. One of the cultures that we have is just having a team.
Yeah.
Right. You got to have a team. Kobe would have games where he just took over, scored 81. Right.
Massive.
Basically, beat a team on his own. But at the end of the day, he needed teammates.
Yeah. He didn't win no championship like
that. Right. You can't win without a team. So.
Yeah. Man. And that kind of speaks to the team that you're building here, right? I mean, if you want to talk to people about what you do, about how we met, I mean, you brought me into this arena.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think one of the biggest things is we connected more on our mindset.
Yeah.
Right? We connected on we're both young bucks, right? We both had a common belief of wanting to get better.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And we both have a common belief on we don't know everything. Right? But we're both hungry. We're both very grateful for the opportunities that we're given. Mm-hmm. We're ambitious and we're hustlers. One of the things I have on top of my bed is 3 definitions: grateful, ambitious, and hustle. Right? Or technically it's gratitude, ambition, and hustle. And I have this acronym that I say every morning. It's GA. I say GA.
GA.
And what that means is gratitude, ambition, and hustle.
That's my man
right
there. Yeah.
So definition of gratitude that I have above my head is already knowing that you have everything.
Talk to me about the morning though. So you wake up, you do your GA.
Yeah.
Because you got to write us. And then I know you got your schedule. And that's something I emulated from you walking in. And I met you. I was like, I didn't have a Google Calendar. Now I tell everybody to get a Google Calendar. But looking at yours is super structured. Can you talk about your morning routine? Yeah,
my morning routine. I mean, bro, if I don't, Alexis knows this. If I don't go through my morning routine, I feel like I'm completely thrown off. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? I wake up. First thing I do, I pray. I give thanks to the Lord, right?
Amen.
Waking up another day.
Yeah.
I get my workout in. Whether that be, lately I've been boxing a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's lifting weights, or it's going for a run. I get home. On my way home, I have my protein shake, right? And I'm so adamant about my morning routine. I have to have my protein shake right after my workout.
But the thing about you is it's funny because you put eat. Put everything.
Well, see, I have that schedule. I even have my it's funny, Alexis make fun of me. I even have my travel time.
So travel is you driving?
Traveling to the gym, traveling back. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, see that.
So that a lot of people don't understand. We might have meetings, right? We have meetings with one of our partners. We got to drive to Rancho.
Right.
From Chino Hills to Rancho, it takes 20, 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Right? So what are you doing during that time? I can't schedule a meeting and then you know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a gap there. You got to take account for that.
So when did Pablo make that switch of doing that to where you are now before where you weren't doing the schedule? Because that was only.
So I had a mentor, the late great Sam Bakhtiar, owner and CEO of the Camp Transformation Center.
Oh wow, yeah.
He passed away, but he was a major mentor of mine. And I think even before that, I mean, it was instilled in me at a young age. You guys kind of know my story, but it was re-instilled in me when I started training with him, and he started mentoring me. One of the first exercises he had me do was send my schedule to him, and I had too many white gaps on there. And he sent it back to me. He said, "That's cute. It's about 25% filled up.
Yeah.
When are you don't eat, you don't shower, you don't travel."
Wow.
So all these gaps, everything, he was very meticulous about those things. So when I started doing those little things, it really started helping me, not only just in my life, but even in my business, the way I carry things out. And it works for me. It may not work for everybody, but it works for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worked for me ever since I started. I mean, I could testify, shout out Wally. Wally has everything in this guy. I've seen his Google Calendar, and he has everything scheduled.
Yeah.
So I learned that not just him, but actually I heard it from Ed Milet. Shout out Ed Milet. Earlier this year, last year, I went to an all-in event. It's like a wholesaling event, and he was the main speaker. One of the biggest takeaways from that keynote speech was time blocking. He said there's 3 days in really one day. So the first day, if you break it up, so 24 hours, you're looking at about like 8 hours.
I think he says 6 to 12.
Yeah.
12 to 6,
yeah.
and then
the last part of the day is like
6 to like 8 or something like that.
And then you're out. So
yeah, he has 3 days in one. Yeah, 3 days in one. Yeah.
Versus everybody else just one day. So,
yeah. I mean,
that was crazy. And I was like, but you could only do that time blocking by scheduling. You got to be like meticulous on your schedule.
Why do you think, like, okay, so are you having 3 days in one as well? Do you break your days up?
It's really hard. I'll be honest. No, I'll be honest. It's really hard to do the 3 days, but the Google Calendar has already changed my life. In the way of like, I have less anxiety because I know what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like direction leads to just more like clarity. And with clarity is the opposite of what anxiety is. I feel like anxiety is the unknown. But if you can provide clarity in your life through a schedule, kind of how you're saying, even though sometimes it's kind of like, why am I doing this? But it actually feels pretty good.
It does.
Yeah.
It feels really good, man. And talking about Ed Milet, I mean, he was actually the guy that recruited me into the business.
Big dog?
Yeah. So he finally sold me the dream. And I had like a 54-minute conversation with him over the phone.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, man, like I'm in.
You could just
that was back when I was with WFG. But yeah, bro.
You could just hear the passion in the voice. Huh?
Maybe we could talk about, obviously, like forecasting like some of our guests and stuff like that, people that we want to have on. Like that's the caliber of individuals we want to interview.
Right.
You know? Right. So Ed Milet being one of them. Shout out Ed Milet. Hopefully you see this one day.
Yeah.
Right, we're kind of manifesting that.
Yep. And that's how it's gonna be. I feel like it's the beginning of the year, so I have a list and I have a list in mind that of people I want to reach out to, people I know, people I want to get to know.
What are the types of people, like, because I know I kind of know, but let's talk a little bit about like the kind of people that we want to have on the podcast. Not specific names, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Yeah. Right.
But what type of individuals?
Yeah, I think mainly the type of person, at least that I have in mind, is the kind of person that one has a story, to share, and has something to say. Like, because my biggest question I'm gonna ask forward always is gonna be, what would you tell your younger self? So someone who's gone through life in a way that they've experienced it, and they could give back to me, to us, and to the community that'll be listening.
Yeah.
So it's definitely someone with experience. Definitely someone that we could relate to, meaning like someone that kind of looks like us, someone from our kind of upbringing. And just shine light on someone that normally does not have that kind of empowerment on them because they're low key or they just don't want it. But many times, like if someone heard their story, I'm sure they would take a lot of value from that.
Yeah.
At least that's what I got.
I like that. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that if we kind of talked about it earlier, right? The type of people that we want to have on the podcast are going to be people that definitely have a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could relate to the audience, that could educate, whether it be on a business, whether it be on relationship advice, whether it be on, their career, right? So how could they educate you guys, the audience? And then number 3, how could they elevate us, right? We're all about wanting to elevate the community, elevate the people around us. That's why we're calling it Educate and Elevate.
Educate and Elevate.
Right? Yeah, so we want to chase greatness. Obviously, these people have achieved a certain level of greatness, and we want to be able to chase greatness, right? Kind of like the late, great Kobe Bryant.
Chasing greatness.
That's why the great has the Kobe 8 on there.
Yeah, and you're gonna be seeing that all over. I mean, honestly, and it's something that we could all relate to.
Yeah. Yeah,
when you see it, you already know what it represents, what it is, and you have it on.
What does chasing greatness mean to you? Because that's gonna be a question that I ask.
Yeah, great question. Great question too. I think it's just more the journey of you achieving something that once upon a time no one probably ever believed in you, but knowing that you believe in yourself, that's all you really need. So chasing greatness, I would say, is the everlasting journey that you take. And someone told me to fall in love with the journey, because one thing is guaranteed is the journey. Success is not. So might as well love the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
about
love
you,
that.
bro?
Man, chasing greatness, becoming the best version of you. But I also have like, I mean, I don't know if you really know my story in detail, bro. I'm sure you heard it, but my dad set the bar really high, really high. So because my dad set the bar so high, I feel like I'm chasing, in a sense, his like the legacy that he left. Right? He achieved. I mean, he had almost 100 restaurants.
That's really incredible. Yeah.
Right? So
Really
I have a number of 100, right? Where I want maybe not necessarily 100 reps, but like I want to achieve a certain level of like greatness, like he did.
Yeah.
You know, like
your dad.
Yeah, he did. He really made it happen. Like he was a great, you know, and that to me, when I say chasing greatness, like that's where I'm going. Like I'm chasing what he set, and I'm trying to beat that level, right?
Yeah.
So he set that bar high.
What do people say about him? Like when he's because I mean maybe some people might not know, but like obviously you were very young, right, when it happened?
Yeah, I was 14.
Yeah. So like what are some stories that obviously been that of that caliber? I'm sure a lot of people.
I mean, bro, like you got to understand, like he was in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
There was no social media, right?
True.
That it wasn't as easy as it is now. Like honestly, we have all the tools to be successful.
Yeah. Like
look at us. We're in front of a camera. We're in a studio. Like we have the ability to post this stuff on social media, let it go viral, whatever the case may be. He did it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Word of mouth. So you could only imagine like the reputation that he had to have, that the restaurants had to have, the food had to have.
Yeah.
Like that's hard, you know? So the way I see it is like he set the bar, like that's just a standard.
Yeah.
It's up to me now if I want to really go above and beyond that. Right? So things that I would hear is like, you know, I've heard so many great things about him. He was hardworking, he was ambitious, dedicated, you know, very giving, right? These are all things that I've kind of heard kind of growing up. So
yeah.
Even though he passed away when I was young, you know, I have this in me where it's like, I didn't really get to learn from him as much because I was just opening up my eyes to the world when he passed. So I have like this image, and yeah, of course people tell me things about him, but it's like, I just want to try and chase that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to try and chase and, you know, of course my mom tells me a bunch of things, but
yeah,
it's chasing greatness.
Bro, I tell you this, man, and I'm sure a lot of people could testify to it, though, that you have done a lot. You've impacted a lot of people, so I'm sure he'd be very proud of you.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Absolutely,
yeah, I mean,
bro.
everyone has a story. Everyone has like something that they chase, right? Something that they want to aspire to be, right? So it's like I tell people all the time, like, what's your purpose?
Yeah.
Right? I have a mentor that used to tell me, like, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough.
That's a good one.
Again, I'll say, if your why does not make you cry, it's not big enough. Right? And from time to time, like, I'll have a breakdown, bro, because there's things that really, like, I'm passionate about, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, Sam used to tell me that all the time. If your why does not make you cry, it's not big enough. So I ask people, like, okay, you want to get into this? Okay, why?
Yeah.
I want to impact my family. Okay, how? What does that mean to you? Impact to me may not mean the same thing to you. Right? So it's like, what's the purpose behind that? Yeah. Because when you have a strong purpose, now you're going to be able to keep going.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you're doing with us today. Like you're sitting down with us about the goals, and you're asking me, and leading with the why.
Yeah.
At the beginning, just really kind of changes it. Like you don't even look at the work no more. You kind of just look at it like you start to love it because you know that it's gonna reach you closer to what you're trying to do.
Yeah. And it's so important to, especially like now it's the beginning of the year, we're doing a bunch of like business plans. Everyone has goals.
Yep. Talk about that too. That's important because I know you have an event on Tuesday coming up.
Yeah.
For business planning.
We have an event.
Yeah, my bad.
We have an event, bro. Come on, we a team now.
My fault.
See that? You got to make sure everyone's tied in. That's part of the culture.
That's right. Culture shift.
Culture.
All right, my fault, Kobe. But that's a big one though, because I already told a lot of people about it. A couple people are coming too. I'll be there for sure.
Yeah, you're speaking, bro.
Yeah, so
you ready for it?
I am. I'm excited. Yeah, blessed, bro. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, of course.
First, public speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Dude, no, it's going to be a great event. I mean, we definitely plan to have multiple seminars throughout the year. We want to, again, educate, elevate families, educate, elevate partners, educate, elevate family and friends. Not only on just, this one's going to be a financial planning one, but more so just on opportunity, right? We say it all the time, right? Having the opportunity is the opportunity, right? So if we could educate people on how to properly plan their finances in 2023 and beyond, I mean, that's what we do. That's like our day job, right?
Right.
But that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the goals that I have. What are some of the goals you have
For this
for the year?
For this year, aside from the financial goals, I mean, going back to the why. One of my biggest ones is to get my parents out of debt, my family out of debt. Like, that's my responsibility now. So I have a deadline. It's like by summer, I gotta finish it all out. So yeah, man, that's one of my biggest ones right now.
Tell bro, cause like if you guys don't know, like Armando and I, we went out to lunch, dinner, like what was it, like 2 weeks ago maybe?
Oh, yeah, Ish.
Yeah, like 2 weeks. Shout out to Ish.
Yeah,
right.
Out Ish.
Ish and I, we worked out, and then Armando hit us up. We all went to eat. But it was funny. Armando pulls out a contract at the end of the dinner out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, bro, I need you to sign this." I'm like, "Contract?" It's like
What
all
am I
his
signing?
goals, accountability. You know, if I don't do this, I'm gonna sacrifice that. I won't say what it is.
Yeah, no, you
but
could, yeah.
but
could've
it
been
was
worse.
dope, right? How many of your friends or how many of your partners, how many people in your circle are like willing to sign a contract and actually have you keep them accountable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that was really dope, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
Where did you kind of pick that up from? Is that something you always do? Like,
No. Atomic Habits, the book Atomic
Okay.
Habits. Towards the end, it's called a habit contract.
yes,
He's talked about the story. So instead of just writing out a goal, for example, I want to do this by this, the way he did it was took action steps. So there's 4 quarters in a year. So the way I did it was, okay, I got to make this much in a year, do this much. So breaking it down, quarter 1, so today till March 31st. Until then, I have a certain goal to make. And if I don't make it, then there's a punishment. There's a reward as well. So there's a reward and punishment. It's kind of like, that's how you keep yourselves, keep it going. Because you got to reward yourself as well. So my reward at the end of the week and at the end of the quarter 1 is to go out on a trip.
nice.
To go on a trip. Yeah, if I do it. But if I don't do it, my punishment is like, one of them is to give my mom like $100 a week, and then not to go out and not to listen to music at the gym. They're like little stuff, But it's
The music in the gym would kill me.
yeah, it's gonna get worse though. But
Yeah.
I hope I don't get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, definitely the book, bro. Atomic Habits. I'm about to read The Alchemist right now too.
That's a good book.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I'm about to read that one right now.
That was a really, really good book. Yeah, I like that one. I know my older brother, Daniel. Shout out Daniel. He actually recommended that book to me, The Alchemist.
Yeah, when you're younger.
Yeah, I think actually he had recommended it to me, but you know how people recommend books to you and then you don't read them until like later.
You're like,
I think I read that one for the first time like 2 years ago.
amazing book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really good one.
I've gifted that. Like, that's the most gifted book I've given.
You know that was Kobe's favorite book,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
The Alchemist.
That makes sense. It's
Yeah, he was
amazing.
asked one time in an interview, "Hey, what's the one book that you would recommend to
Yeah.
somebody, or what's your favorite book of all time?" And he said The Alchemist.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If I ever give that book to someone, at least I haven't given it in a while, but if I did give you that book ever, it's because you actually meant something to me sometime, at least before my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there what's like do you have like, you're a big reader?
Yeah. Absolutely.
What are like
Yeah.
top 3 books that you kind of like other than all right, so
the
number 1 is The Alchemist.
Alchemist? I got to rank Atomic Habits up there now too.
Okay. That's a good one.
And then my third one is probably Man's Search for Meaning, written by Victor. I can't pronounce his last name, but he was a survivor of the German Auschwitz camp, the Auschwitz camp,
Okay.
and he survived. And his biggest thing was, your why is bigger than your how,
Yeah.
and it was just crazy. Yeah, survivor. So
Yeah.
all right, top 3 yours.
Top 3 for me, The Compound Effect. I definitely like that one.
Okay, I haven't read it.
The second one would be, well, number 1, the Bible.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But
Nice,
that one's a
yeah.
given.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
That's definitely a really good one. I would have to put The Alchemist up there too, bro.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
There's so many books.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Last year I fell very short of my goal.
Yeah, me too. I only read like 4.
But this year I do have a goal of getting back to 24 books.
24th.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of books that I'd like to read. But yeah, the goal this year is to get back up to my 24. Because last year I think I only read like 9. I did really bad last year. I did really bad last year.
Yeah.
But they say leaders are readers.
That's
so
true.
we definitely got to be reading.
All right, so let's talk about leaders and who are like your biggest leaders right now? The ones that you go to that you look up to.
Like in
Just in general.
currently?
Yeah, like right now.
Oh man.
Like if you needed advice.
Francisco's a big one. Francisco Hara.
Nice.
Yeah, Francisco Hara with Giving Business Soul. That's my boy. That's my mentor. I mean, he's really last year he helped me through a lot.
Nice.
And that has to do more with like inner work, right? Becoming more self-conscious with my inner, having a higher level of consciousness. I think when you have a higher level of consciousness, you're able to move differently. You're able to impact differently. And that translates to business, right? So you're what you are, what you show up, or what you are inside ultimately reflects your outer experience.
I got that one when I went to
the breath work,
Giving Business Soul.
Yeah, the flow workshop, right? So a lot of you guys have heard me talk about flow state and having a higher level of consciousness and all these things. And really, when you become more in tune with yourself internally, you show up differently in the world. So I would say Francisco's definitely had a major impact. Manny, definitely a big leader in the business, on the business side, obviously with the financial architects and everything that we have going on. But really as a friend too, man. You know, really like as a brother, like he's really been there with me through a lot of things, especially last year. And this year we definitely we had a meeting last night. We had dinner, so we wrote up some really big goals that we kind of want to go after. And honestly, my mom, man.
That's huge.
Yeah. My mom's somebody that I always go to, whether it be for a decision I'm gonna make, whether it be for something that I'm contemplating,
right,
or just hey, I need someone to talk to. My mom's always been there, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to mom. So I think I mentioned, like, I don't know if I told you, but I surprised her with a trip to Cuba.
Yeah.
So I'm taking her to Cuba
That's
for the first time since she left the island when she was 8.
That's crazy.
So
She's probably gonna cry.
Yeah, I'll document
She's
it.
gonna
I'll be
cry.
documenting the whole thing, but
Yeah, I have a couple of friends from Cuba, and they talk about like it's so emotional.
yeah.
Yeah, so
My grandma used to get like that. Yeah.
Yeah, to see that. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah.
What about you, bro? What are some of the top leaders that you're going to right now?
Right now, on my current state right now, bro, I would say you. Definitely you, man.
Oh, man.
I appreciate you a lot. That's you become like my go-to, and I already talked about like giving me that direction in my life where I could at least implement my energy and my focus. So thank you for that one.
Thank you, bro.
Real estate wise, like work and just the way business is run, I would say Wally. I talked to Wally.
Shout out Wally. Wally has a crazy focus mentality, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, systems are crazy. I bug him a lot. I would say my mom as well though, man. I love my mom. I'm definitely a mama's boy. So I think that's a lot. That's one of my biggest whys too. So I could always reach out to her.
Yeah.
And know that I'm good. And I think that's why family is important. Like this New Year's, I didn't do nothing but be with family. And I realized that when I took a walk with her a week prior to New Year's, I was looking at her and we took a walk around the block, and I was like, damn, she's getting older, you know. And it's just kind of like, ooh, like you know what?
You're gonna hit my heart right now, bro.
Yeah, it's just more like, you know what? Family's forever, man.
Yeah.
Instead of going out with some friends or like, you know, a girl, whatever, it's more like, you know, family's gonna be forever. So
Yeah, family's forever, man. I mean, like we talk about. I talk about all the time, right? Like my core, right? Faith, family, fitness, finance, fun. Right?
Yeah.
There's a 6th one in there, depending on how you want to look at it, but it could be faith, family, fitness, finance, and then fulfillment and fun.
Nice.
Or if you throw fun in there, you have a balance, then it equals fulfillment, right?
That's right.
So it's like if you have all of those balances, or as balanced as you can, I don't know, bro. What are your thoughts? Do you think that you could really have a balanced life?
Well, from what I've seen, I think it naturally gets imbalanced. the quick answer, I would say no. And it's our job or someone else's job to kind of snap us out of it and try to balance us back into it for a bit.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to have a balanced life.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of time at some point, right? And I'm going to refer back to Kobe.
Yeah.
Right? He had to sacrifice a ton of time away from family. And I'll give the example that he gave in an interview with Patrick Bet-David, right? Shout out Patrick. Is that it was like the relationship thing, right? With his wife, Vanessa. He had to step away from the family in a way. He couldn't be 100% present because he was on a road 9 months out of the year. So Vanessa was like, and again, I'm kind of quoting her, is like, Vanessa basically said, like, if you're going to be away for 9 months, you better win a fucking championship.
That's the type of support you need, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, those girls aren't. Yeah, that's rare to find.
It's really hard to find a woman like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, but again, it takes me back to, like, core values. Like, she was so bought into him winning championships and being committed and being the GOAT. Yeah. Right? Arguably. Okay? Arguably.
I give it. Top 3.
We won't have that discussion.
Yeah,
we won't be that we won't have that discussion. But what I'll say is that, like, how many people in your life are as committed as you are? Yeah. Like, that are keeping you accountable. Right? I think that's big.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Well, one thing I did, I sent you an email link, was a quarterly review.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just more accountability, you know. And seeing how you saying, like, having that person there, like Vanessa, going back to the Vanessa story, Vanessa's very much as well part of that championship run as Kobe was.
Yes.
Because if his life at home wasn't there, his mind wouldn't be right.
Yeah, and he talked about that.
Yeah.
You know? So I think your partner definitely has a big thing to do with success or chasing greatness. Right? So we'll probably have a couple at some point down the line as far as, like, how they've dominated in life and business and family and all that stuff, because it's hard balancing all those things.
That actually steps us into the conversation of what kind of categories would we want to talk about. So what about for you, bro? I think that's a good one, though. Relationship is huge. Like, massive. I think something about, like, young, we're young men ourselves, so it's kind of like stuff that we go through in the social life as well. Highlight that as well, because we know we're going to talk about finance. We're going to talk about everything.
We're going to mix it up too.
Yeah,
we're definitely going to mix it up.
There's so much to cover. So the people we're going to bring is going to be, like, experts in the field. They've been successful. So it's like it's gonna be pretty cool to see, like, how many people we could educate and impact.
Yeah. Wow. No, I'm really excited for the podcast, guys. If you listen this far, like, do us a favor, like, share this podcast with people. Subscribe to our channel. Our YouTube channel is going to be brand new, so subscribe to that. Follow us on IG. Yep. And let us know too. Like, give us feedback, right? Give us feedback. What could we do better? What topics do you guys want us to hear or to talk about? If you have guests, right, that you think would be a good fit to our podcast, like, as well. Yeah. Something you said, bro, is like, we're the people's podcast, right? So this is like a people's podcast. We want to provide value to you guys, right?
Amen. Yeah.
So, like, yeah, get us in contact with them. And we're not really charging, right? This is more so to, again, elevate the mindsets, educate the people. So all we ask is that you please just share the episodes. Yep. Share the episodes, please. We're gonna try and keep them relatively short. But yeah, man, any closing thoughts?
No, I mean, obviously, like, I love how you said it too, the people's podcast. So you let us know what you want us to cover. And obviously, we'll do our best as well. And there's so much information out there. I think we're going to directly focus it to what we want to. And ultimately, like, follow our mission statement, which is educate and elevate, right? Educate the people, like, in terms of financial, and elevate is the mindset, the soul.
Yeah.
The stuff that actually drives everything else.
Yeah.
So.
And when you do those things, you're going to be chasing greatness, man.
It is.
Chasing greatness. So. We appreciate you guys. We will see you guys. I think we're going to have our first guest on the upcoming episode.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know we got
surprise guest.
I know we got
surprise guest.
Yeah, we got a lot of them coming up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited.
So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for the next episode, because we got our first guest is going to be special. So be on the lookout for that one.
Yeah.
It's
coming. We're coming.
There it is. Guys, as always, we love you. Educate and Elevate with Pablo and Armando, where this is a podcast of the people. And you already know we're chasing greatness. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.
in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway.